Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Good morning, Sweet Belle. I saw I Love Discounts came in earlier, put a message. I don't know if they're here yet. They're on vacation this week. Well, we say vacation, it's more working. Cracked and Collected, good morning. Hi, Southern Charm. How are you? Moody. Hi, Moody. I know I was looking. I saw another good morning. I'm like, I want to make sure I address it. Hey, Catherine. How is everybody doing? I've got a few things to talk about today, and we're going to give you a little tour, so I'm kind of excited about it. So I know in my title I put shipping stations, and we're going to get to it. I absolutely promise. But I made some changes last night. We kind of, my husband and I had a long discussion, and we've decided to do some things different in our business. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk just about work-life balance first, and then we'll get into shipping stations. So we will get there. Hello, Extending Grace. Long discussion. I know, one of those. As you can see, I am sitting in the dark. It's a little dark for my liking, but tomorrow night is our glowy show. So we had to kind of highlight it. So you can see behind me, we got all kinds of glowy stuff. We don't have all the black lights set up, but we've got enough so that you can see some of our glowy stuff. I'm super excited about it. Reclaim Vintage, good morning. So that's coming up tomorrow. But before we do that, let's just kind of recap. Let's just talk about some stuff that's been going on. As always, I would rather answer your questions and talk about my stuff. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll try to answer them and then kind of circle back to whatever my notes were. But today I am so excited. As soon as this show is over, and we may even end early, I don't know. We usually go to about 9. After dark hour, check out the glow. Look at that. It's kind of, we don't have all the black lights. It looks better over there. Let's see. Let's see if we got some glow going on up here. You can see it. Look at that guy. That guy really glows. So anyways, today we are going down to Virginia. Where's it? Fredericksburg? Honey, is it Fredericksburg? Somewhere in Virginia. We are heading down to Virginia for the reseller meetup. It's being hosted by Corey Manax and Abandoned Treasures Reclaimed. Yes, I got the name right. I had to look at my notes to make sure. And so we're, yes, you have to have a black light. No, you'll see the glow. We'll show you the glow. But we are going down to Virginia. We're going to go do resellers meetup. We're looking forward to meeting a bunch of people, hopefully, that we have never met. We only get to see on the screen. So I cannot wait. As soon as this show's over, we are going to go down there. Oh, Sapphire, that's cool. Oh, Frederick, thank you, I Love Discounts. And speaking of I Love Discounts, we got to meet Tony and Lysandra in person this week. What a blessing. That was just so much fun. I enjoyed it. They came to our house. They stayed with us for an evening. We got to go out to dinner. We had lunch. We just get to hang out and talk about life and talk about whatnot, business. And it was that was kind of things that I really enjoy. So it was really nice. I loved having them here, and they brought their 2 boys with them. Sweetest kids. I say kids, they're young men. So they're not kids, they're young men, but most well-behaved, polite. It was just a pleasure having their family here. And then on top of that, not only did we get to hang out with them all day long and then into the evening, it is so nice when you find your tribe. It really is. I don't know about you guys, but as an adult, we just moved to Pennsylvania 3 years ago. And I've talked about this before. It's hard to make friends as an adult, and Whatnot has really turned into a way for me to connect with people. I lived here for 3 years, and yeah, you may wave at your neighbor, how you doing type of thing. But it's not like when you're 10 and you go next door and you knock on the door, can you come out and play? It's hard to make those connections. Did you move to PA? Awesome. So you too. So it's nice to meet people on Whatnot and click with them. And everybody doesn't have to be exactly the same, but you can still click with people, and that's what I really like. So I'm enjoying Whatnot for that reason. Let's see. We have a question. Wondering if you could address the how-tos of modding in the future. Can't seem to find detailed info on whatnot. I absolutely will. If you don't mind, if I'm going to make a note of that, and next week's show, I will make sure that we talk about modding. I will see what I can find, maybe, listen to some other people, gather some information, and come back to you with that. I love discounts. You've met some, and you guys are really social. Lysandra likes to say she's shy, but I don't know. She was very, very open and outgoing, and I just enjoyed the visit. But we also got to go out to dinner with Green 13 and Nine Dimes, which was amazing. That was so much fun. We all went to have Mexican food. Unfortunately, during the dinner, I was feeling really, really sick. My stomach was awful. I don't know if anybody noticed at the dinner. I barely ate, but I got over it. It was fine. We had such a good time, though. And then afterwards, anybody see the raid train I was on? You're jealous. It was so cool. We had so much fun. I'll tell you what. Jeremy, to me, Jeremy is Green 13. In case you guys don't know, I'll say Jeremy, but I should also say Green 13. Sundays, such an intelligent man. He does his random ramblings on Sundays. Such an intelligent man. I was almost a little intimidated, a little nervous to go to this dinner. I'm like, what if I say something stupid? What if I sound stupid to him? And he is down to earth, friendly. He is not at all if you ever get the chance to meet him, I was a little nervous and stuff, but he's just a guy and he's really nice, really friendly. So you'd be nervous to meet him too. So see, I'm not the only one. But did anybody catch the raid train on Tuesday night? So there was a raid train hosted by the wonderful JJ Shopper and CG Boomerang Echo. And it was called On Cloud 9, and there was 9 sellers that they highlighted, and we got 15-minute spots. Well, I had signed up for the raid train well before we made our dinner plans. So it just so happens dinner was at 5, the raid train was at 7:15, and dinner was about an hour away from where we live. So I was like, oh, okay, I've got to do something here. So I packed up my items, put them in the truck, took them to dinner with us. I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, we find a spot and we do the show from somewhere, right? Beauty of whatnot. Oh, he wants to say something.
I agree, Live in Bliss Vintage. I think he's the mentor of a lot of people and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it turns out, thank God we did that, because dinner, of course, lasted long. You get a group of people together. We are going to sit and chit-chat and, talk about all things. So then we went over to a Barnes & Noble. I'll tell you what, I was able to see just my personal growth, not even business growth, just personally not being so in my shell and shy and scared. I sat in the middle of a Barnes & Noble bookstore in their little cafe, people all around me, and did a show. A year ago, I never would have done that. And it's not like I'm oh, look how far I've come, blah, blah, blah. It is just, for me, that was a huge accomplishment. I just felt very proud of myself, because I am a shy person. I am an introvert. I sold just some miscellaneous things, kind of representative of my business, but I mean, nothing, some blue and white glowy item, nothing super special, just some items. But the fact that I had somebody sitting next to me, and before the show, I'm like, hey, excuse me, I'm going to be on camera talking a little bit here. I'm sorry if I bother you. And they just laughed it off. They're like, no, go ahead. So then during the show, we had Tony and Lysandra walking behind me, dancing. And then Jeremy came on and was on the raid train. I think this is probably the only time, and I can't take credit for it because it was just all perfect set of circumstances that came together. But I think it's probably the only time we're ever going to see Jeremy on a raid train. And I thought that was kind of cool. So that was fun. But yeah, I just had to kind of just talk about that. It was so cool. And Nine Dimes, I don't know, has anybody ever seen Nine Dimes? He always covers them up. He's a ninja. He covers his face. You don't see him. We actually got to see his face. I half expected him to come to dinner with his mask on and his shades, but no, he is a real person, and he was very, very friendly too. So it was just wonderful. All right, let's see. So we talked about the seller meetup today. I don't plan on going live at the seller meetup. We're going to just try to enjoy time with meeting people and making new friends. But today, I want to talk about 3 things today. So shipping stations, that was in my title. I'm going to give you a tour of my shipping station. Not that it's like all that, but I just kind of want to talk about shipping stations, not necessarily shipping in itself, but like how to set up and be the most efficient you can in your shipping stations. Work-life balance. So this is a new topic that kind of came to us last night after a long discussion. You've got a raid train for us to pop into. I would love to pop into a raid train. So I cannot wait to see you later today and hear all about it. So work-life balance. And then I have one quick little topic, and this is a follow-up from last week. So last week we were talking about coupons, and we did like an impromptu poll of, do you like % off coupons? Oh, I will absolutely reclaim vintage. Do you like % off coupons or dollar off coupons? Overwhelmingly, everybody in the show, not everybody, but everybody who answered like in the chat said they like dollar off coupons, which totally surprised me because being a math person, I can't call myself a math person, being a CPA, % off to me, you get more money. % gives you the biggest value. So, and I have never given a dollar off coupons. I always give % off coupons. And math is hard right there. Living Bliss Vintage, you are getting, that is what so many people said. They're like, I don't like to do math. I don't like to figure out %. So was going to bring you 2 little tricks today, just fun little tricks on %. And maybe it'll make that, you might start to look at liking % off coupons a little bit better. So we're going to do that really quick. Percents, to figure out any %. This is like those tricks that, I don't know, they teach in middle school or whatever to kids. I've talked about them to my kids as they've grown up over the years, and they've always got a kick out of it. But to do any %, 30% off, let's just take 30% off 40. I have some notes here, but we can do other numbers too. They don't teach the tricks anymore. That's awful. Okay, 30% off 40. How do you do that? 30 and 40. You take the 3 times the 4 is 12. Break it down to easy math. Good morning, Kate. So 3 times 4, 30% of 40. You take that first number, the number that's in the tens place. 3 times 4 is 12. 30% of 40 is 12%. See how easy it is? You take the first number, the number in their tens place on both of your % off and then what you're trying to get to. Yep, and our 10%, I always do it that way too. Another one, 20% of 180. Like that, quick off top of your head, 2 times 18 is 36. So that's just a quick way. And you can use this trick if it's not round numbers, but in Whatnot, we normally work in round numbers. So it's super easy. Everybody knows 10% of something. That we all learned that in elementary. But if you want 40% off of $80, 4 times 8 gives you your 40% off $80. So super easy % trick. The other fun one, and this is the one my kids always liked, and this has nothing to do with %, but if you have kids, you can go show them this and they'll probably think it's cool. Or if you have real little ones, is the nines trick. So multiplying by nines. So let's see if my husband pulls that down so I can show you my hands. You're messing me up, love. All right. So multiplying by nines. If you have 10 fingers, right? And I want to do 9 times 3. So you start counting. It's going to be backwards for you guys. So I'll try to do it backwards here. From left to right, I go 9 times 3. 1, 2, 3. I put the third finger down. So I have 2, 7, 27. 9 times 5. So I put my 5th finger down. I have 45. So it's just a really easy visual way for kids to learn the nines multiplication. So if you have kids, you can teach them that trick. It's a fun little one. My kids always had fun with that. I would see them. You didn't know that one. I would see my kids sometimes going like this, and I knew exactly what they were doing. So I just had to throw that in there. I thought about that after our last show. All right. Work-life balance, then I promise we're going to get to shipping stations. You can work the 9 times in your head. You know, I am a CPA, but I do not do math. I said in the last show, I failed at college algebra 3 times. Numbers and letters should never mix together. I just taught a bunch of grown-ups. But, you know, we all learn new things, right? Every show, I learn something almost every show. But yeah, I don't think numbers and letters should mix. And I became a CPA not because of the math, but because it's rules-based and it's logic-based and it's credits and debits. So, Yeah, math and letters, they just should not go together. Teach you how to use chubby bucks. All you got to do is swipe. Just swipe. Um, all right. Work-life balance. I know there are so many people on Whatnot. There is a lot of us that are type A's. I Love Discounts as a type A. I know I'm a type A. I'm guessing Daisy Lane is a type A because she is on all the time, working her butt off. And it is so easy. What's that? I don't know what color it is, what color type A relates to, but it is so easy to let Whatnot take over your life. And I'm going to talk about this. I have a full-time job and I do Whatnot. But I think this applies to even if you do Whatnot full-time or reselling as your full-time income. She's an alien, yes. I don't know how she does it. I was up last night at like 11 and I saw her on. And then she's here in my show so early this morning. I was in bed when Daisy Lane, when you were on the show, I was in bed. But it's so easy to let Whatnot take over. And what I was saying, it doesn't matter if this is your full-time thing or your part-time thing. Either way, I think these concepts apply. Almost maybe more so. Thank you so much, Moody. I appreciate that. Maybe even more so if you are doing this full time, because it's like, if I don't work, my kids don't eat, my mortgage doesn't get paid. So maybe there's even more pressure. So it's so easy to be consumed by it, not just in the selling, because not only are we on here to make money, to do our businesses, but a lot of us are on here for our entertainment. How many of you has Whatnot almost replaced TV? And so instead of turning on the TV, we'll go and look at our favorite sellers or find new sellers or look at shows. Whatnot TV, that's it. So it is like, not only are we doing it during our working hours, but we're doing it during our social hours. And look, I am not saying, yep, look at this. Everybody's like, yep. I'm not saying, look, don't do Whatnot. Please do Whatnot, because I still want to make sales. You want to make sales, right? But finding that balance. When you work for somebody else, when you're going on somebody else's dime and they're writing you a paycheck, I don't know about you, but a lot of us, even those that are workaholics, are like, look, I've put in 10 hours. I'm done for the day. I'm going home to my family. We don't do that so much on Whatnot. We are continually on there, answering messages on weekends. Some people have good boundaries, and it's so healthy to have those boundaries. But it's also so easy to get caught up in the money and the drive. It's like, oh, that show I just made $800. If I have another show, oh, look how better I can do. And maybe if I do 3 shows a week, I can make this much a month. And then that becomes, oh, well, look how much I'm making. What if I do 4 shows a week? And it's not just the show. It's the setup before the show, the shipping after. Not all the time, Moody, at least not for me. But it's everything that goes into it. So business hours. Yeah. And it's hard to stick to. So giving yourself business hours for messages, it is so hard to stick to. For a while there, I was like, okay, I'm not answering anything on Sundays. And then I'm like, first thing I do, what do I do on Sunday mornings? Get up and watch Jeremy. I'm on Whatnot first thing. And then, of course, I'm going to check my messages. And then there's Ray Trains on Sunday. So it's just, it's so easy. It's like if I, and then if you're not thinking about shows, well, if I source better, well, let me spend some more time sourcing. Well, because Whatnot's just not what we see on the screen. It's the sourcing behind it. There's always something. I know that I've been on Whatnot almost 2 years now, and the last couple of weeks, and I was telling Lysandra from I Love Discounts this the other day, I'm like, something has to give. Something has to give. Like, I want to grow. I have all kinds of things in my head, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second, of what I want to do and where I want to go. But I also am working 7 days a week, nonstop. I get up at 4:35 every morning so I can either ship or do something for the business. Mainly it's shipping. And then I go to my full-time job. I have to put my 8 to 10 hours in there. And then in the evenings, I'm back on doing Whatnot stuff, whatever it may be. And then in between all of that is sourcing and trying to be a mom and a wife and all this stuff. Just nothing different than what all of you go through too. But something has to give, because you can't keep doing that 7 days a week. Your health is going to suffer. You're going to suffer. Your mental capacities are going to suffer. Yes, Moody, you do have to claim, or you can, when you give a tip as a business expense, yes, you can claim that. It feels like you're feeding the beast. Extending grace, that is so true. Yes, the show only starts and ends for the buyer. Exactly. The sellers are, yep, hours of sourcing and shipping, hours. So, and if you don't rest, if you don't pull back, your health is going to suffer, your mental capacities are going to suffer, everything. Not only just that, but how many of you can honestly say, I know I can. Right before I Love Discounts came to my house, I'm looking around, I'm like, this house has to be clean. Like, I'm not going to have people come to a dirty home, right? And it's not that we live in a dirty home, but there's always laundry that needs to be folded, clothes that need to be washed, um, floors that need to be swept. And I know that I neglected a lot in my house. And when I got serious, and like the few days before they got here, and I'm like, something has to give here. Like, I've got to clean up. Um, like, you look around, I'm a pig. um, over the dining room. Yeah, see the stuff in the dining. Exactly. I have like that. My dining room table was like, I don't know what I want to do with this right now, and I would put it on the dining room table. You know what that is? That I don't know what I want to do with this. It's decision fatigue. Yeah, what not bomb. That's how I feel. And so it just, if you look around, it's not just your energy or your health, it's everything. And then if you live with other people, if you're not a single person in your own home, that affects your spouse or your kids or your significant others. It works. Living Bliss, it works. It got me really motivated. But yeah, I mean, the kids contribute to the mess, but I'm saying like what we do affects all of them. So, just we have to find that balance. One of my own personal examples, I was supposed to run a half marathon tomorrow. I've been active for years and years. I have run a couple of marathons. I have done over 30 half marathons. I used to lift weights consistently every day. I have a gym in my house. I mean, it's not like, super fancy, but I have a gym in my home. I signed up for this marathon about 8 months ago because I knew I had recognized from like that first year on Whatnot that I was not taking care of myself the way that I used to. And so I'm like, okay, pay for something, get a date, that'll motivate you. And every day I would wake up and I would say, okay, let's go for a run, let's go work out. I would put it on my schedule, 7 to 8 a.m., this is what you're doing. And then it would be like, oh, well, I have my show, I got to pack. And here I am about to run a half marathon tomorrow. It is not happening because I am nowhere near half marathon shape at this moment. And this is part of the thing, like it's just kind of got me like really stewing on this in the past week and a half, 2 weeks, is like, I need to take care of me. I mean, and that's just one example. We have decided for a couple of reasons. One, for that very reason. Thank you. I appreciate that. But we have decided we are pulling back just a little bit. And I think you can pull back. You can set your boundaries because look if you're sick, say if you're just you do Whatnot, nobody else in your home, Whatnot income is all you. You're the driver of that. If you don't take care of yourself and you get sick, because I know you, if you're a type A personality and you're a go-getter, you're probably saying to yourself, I can't afford to take time off. If I don't do this, my bills don't get paid. What happens if you work yourself into exhaustion and sickness and you can't get up? There's going to come a day where you're laying in bed and you're like, I just can't do it. I can't get up today. Then who's going to pay your bills? So it's better to do it on the front end and figure out how to find some balance in there somewhere to be able to continue to live the life that you want to live. Shorter shows, less shipping. There's all kinds of ways to do that. And there's not get a weighted vest. There's not one right way. You have to find what works for you. This is all individual. What works for me probably will not work for any of it may, but I mean, so you have to find that balance. But I think a part of this is that I wanted to bring to the attention is because I've been there and said it myself. Well, if I don't do this, who's going to do it? And then I won't have any money coming in, blah, blah, blah. What if it's you and your spouse and you're a 2-person team and you rely on each other for these shows and you guys aren't like encouraging each other to have that balance and take that time? If something happens to one of you, what are you going to do, right? So I just encourage everybody to take that time. So speaking of that, I'm going to be a little transparent here. I've mentioned it before. Blocking time and walking around the block a couple of times a day. Yeah, absolutely. Like those are the things you need to do to take care of yourself. And Living Bliss Vintage, I think I remember right that you used to be a fitness instructor. So I'm sure you're relating to like, taking care of yourself and the whole concept of being healthy. And so I have mentioned, do you know how many people have asked why I haven't been live and if I need to selling shows? Yeah. And that's just it. I love discounts. When we start to take that time, that's a boundary that we need to be firm in for ourselves, whatever that looks like to you, because you will hear it. You'll hear, well, why weren't you on? Where are you? Some of that's just concern, like, hey, I haven't seen you, friend. Where are you? But we've got to set those boundaries and just hold to them. Um, Natural State of High says, I look at it as like, I don't take a break when my body is signaling it. Your body will make you take a break exactly at the most inconvenient times. Is that not the truth right there? Yep. So we're pulling back a bit, and I'm going to give you a little more reason why. I just talked about some of it. You may have noticed, I don't know if you even look at my shows close enough, but I have rescheduled all of my Monday shows. We will no longer be doing random Monday mornings. I have pushed the ones that I had scheduled back to January, so at least until the end of the year. I am adding on because I do want to be relevant. I do still want to stay in touch. So my Saturday shows aren't going anywhere. The Friday shows aren't going anywhere. I am adding on my tax talks, tax and accounting, on Tuesday evenings at 8:40. I decided to do a chat show instead of a selling show during the week for the purpose of it cuts back on the time for me to prep and ship. And I think that gives me the time I need. I've been so focused on getting back to Whatnot that I've skipped the gym because, yeah, exactly. And that's how I felt. Like, I haven't worked out. I can like walk 3 feet and get on a treadmill, and I haven't done it in months because of Whatnot. Because of me, and I'm a huge proponent. I say you make time for what's important. And I kept telling myself that in my head. I'm like, Tracy, you tell everybody else this, but I wasn't making time for what's important, and I'm important. You're important. Of anything, my husband and my kids are important. That doesn't mean that your income and your livelihood is not, but there's a line there that you need to figure out where that line is for yourself, and what's acceptable in your life and where you feel okay. When I'm not working out, when I'm not doing what I should do for my body, I feel it. I'm more tired. I drag around. Mentally, I don't feel good. My confidence level decreases when I'm not taking care of myself. So I know I need to get back to that. In addition, I've kind of hinted to it. I've probably even come out and said it in a few shows before. It's not something I talk about. My husband and I are somewhat private people. But for those of you who don't know, and one of the reasons I haven't talked about this much is I don't want pity. I don't want a pity party. I don't like pity shows. So I don't say it in that way. I say this in a way of work-life balance. And one of the reasons why we're pulling back. Heart disease is number 1 killer in women. Yeah, we're getting older. And lifting weights for our bones. Exactly. Oh, I couldn't agree more with that. So I don't talk about this a lot just for those reasons. But some of you may know my husband's been battling stage 4 cancer for 3 years now. When we first moved to Pennsylvania, we were actually on our house hunting trip up here when he landed in the ER in kidney failure. I signed the contract on our home, and within 24 hours, we found out he had stage 4 cancer. So he has been fighting that. We did 3 years ago when he was first diagnosed. We went through rounds and rounds of chemo. He had what is called CAR T. A very short explanation of CAR T. They extract T cells from your body. They send them to California, some lab where they manufacture them, make them into super cells, stick them back into your body, and they're supposed to attack the cancer cells. That was successful at first. He went into remission for 14 months. We were thrilled. He's telling me 8 months. Well, let's call it a year. Let's meet in the middle, honey. So he went into remission for a while. We were happy. We were getting back to a normal way of life. We were really ramping up our Whatnot. We were like, okay, great. We can make plans. And then about 8 months ago, we started seeing the symptoms again, and he had one of the normal scans that you have, and the cancer is back more aggressively. So he does have stage 4 cancer. The type of cancer he has is incurable. So we have been doing chemo maintenance once a week. We go to chemo, so every Wednesday. Those of you who have caught some of my New Seller Surge shows where I say that I'm at a different location, that is because chemo ran late, and at those times I was coming to you guys from the hospital. So what we've been doing is maintenance. It will not be cured through chemo. He is, however, in another 12 days going in for a stem cell transplant. The stem cell transplant has a 30 to 40% chance of putting him in remission for a couple of years. We are just claiming it and just going to speak it out loud that that's what's going to happen. However, the stem cell transplant means he will be in the hospital for about 5 to 7 weeks. So he'll be there from the end of September through the beginning of November. And then when he comes home, for the first 100 days, he needs round-the-clock care, 24-hour care. Because of that, a lot of that is a reason, and the work-life balance, I'm pulling back a little bit on Whatnot. So I will be doing one selling show a week. If things are going great, we feel good, and I want to do a pop-up, there's always that option. There's nothing saying you can't do a pop-up. But my Monday, just kind of a long story short to say that that's a bulk of the reason my Monday shows won't be going. My time needs to be invested into my family, as much as I want to still continue the business. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have goals. We went and looked at a place. I was telling I Love Discounts. One of my big goals for 2026 is to get through this with my husband. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate it. I really do. And again, I don't say this. Oh, thank you so much, Living Bliss Vintage. That was really sweet. I don't say this for pity, honestly. I'm being transparent and just sharing with you guys a story, not at all for sympathy or pity in any way, please. But one of our goals in 2026 is to get him through this. And two, we had talked about renting a warehouse or buying a warehouse. We have since kind of changed, and we are looking at purchasing a small home that we can turn into a Whatnot home, and not to be bougie. But I look at buying a house. Thank you so much, Ken. I appreciate that. I look at buying a house in the sense of I can use it for Whatnot, and then I can also eventually, if I want to rent it out or sell it, to me, it's an investment. So we're looking at buying a small property. And we actually went and looked at a house 5 minutes from where we are, and then come to Kentucky. Yes. And so we actually went and looked at a house last night, 5 minutes from where we live. We were super excited about it. It wasn't the right fit, but we still have goals and plans. Just because you can pull back and set a boundary in your business doesn't mean that you can't still lay down the foundation for growth and that you can't have plans for growth. So we do, still plan on being here and hope to grow in 2026. But just for 2025, we're going to take it easy a bit. I'm going to get back into watching my health. We're going to focus on his health. And not to say, even just spending time with, we have one kid left. We have 5 kids between us, only one at home. She's 15, about to be 15 next month. And I look back at this summer. We didn't go to the amusement park. We didn't go to the beach. We didn't go hiking. We didn't go canoeing. We didn't do any of our normal summer stuff. You know what I did do? Whatnot. All the time. And I looked at that and I'm like, wow, how many summers do I have left with her? It's those type of things that, as much as I want my business to grow, I need to also, we need this time with our children or with your spouse or just for yourself to enjoy your own life. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. So that's that. That's kind of the big thing. So cutting back on the Monday show, going to add on my Tuesday tax talks in the evenings. And I don't know if I'm going to continue the tax talks all year, but at least through tax season. And then we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, I hear everybody, thank you. Thank you, Sunshine Vintage. I hear everybody on Whatnot, our keyword is pivot, right? And it's true. That's what we do. You pivot. And in your business, life, and whatever. Thank you very much. You have 2 teenagers, no matter how close you are, they do start outgrowing you. Exactly. Like, she doesn't want to hang out with me all the time. And having 5 kids and having 4 already grown, I know how fast it goes, and I barely ever see my adult children. My adult daughter, one of my adult daughters, just got an apartment here kind of close to me. She moved here from Florida, got an apartment close to me 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't been over to see it yet. And it's like 30 minutes away from me. How terrible is that? Because why? I'm working during the day, and then I'm working at night. So it's things like that. All right. Shipping. What time? You know what? I have just jabbered on for 40 minutes and not even run a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway real quick. I only do giveaways in my chat shows. So the first one we have today, I got some Halloween postcards. These are so cool. Check that out. Little Halloween postcard.
I'm going to share with you something that my grandfather used to say. It might not be very polite, but it was one of those old sayings. He used to say that the party is not over until the ugly girl dances. Meaning that you don't give up and you keep on going on until there's no more.
All right. Your grandpa said some stuff. That's not the only thing. I've heard so much stuff from grandpa. All right. So shipping. Let's get on to the main thing here. Shipping is what I put in my title. Is what I want to talk about. Not necessarily shipping. Shipping stations. I'll answer shipping questions, but there are so many people that does shipping on here that, I mean, I'll answer the one-offs if they're there, but Living Bliss Vintage does a Friday shipping show every Friday, chat show, tons of information. Hodgepodge Place has a YouTube video. There's somebody else I'm forgetting. Terrible delivery. There you go. So yeah, and my husband will try to tag those. Those are the two I know. There's somebody else. There's somebody else that has YouTube videos, but I cannot think of them off the top of my head. Yeah, honey, I mentioned that one. So I'm talking more about shipping stations and processes. We're going to go see mine in a second. Did you set that up for me, honey? Have you? Okay. So when I look at shipping stations, to me, the most important thing is understanding yourself and how you work and what systems and processes work for you. Perfect example of this is my husband is the type of person who will put things into Tupperware like totes and pile 6 totes on top of each other and call it organized. And when he needs something in that bottom tote, he has no problem moving all the top 5, opening the bottom one, digging through it, finding what he needs, and then piling them all back on top of each other. That works for him. He's okay with that. For me, I am too damn lazy to move 5 totes to go digging through the one on the bottom. I will never, that type of system would never work for me to have 5 totes. I'm the type of person, I need a system that I have everything out, visible, easy to access, ready for me to get to and use. It disappears. That's right. I'm not going to go dig for stuff. Now, great, there's some things that are storage and you put away. But for me in shipping supplies or shipping setup processes, if I have to pull out a box every time I'm going to ship, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to procrastinate, and my shipping will suffer. So understanding yourself is probably the very first thing before you even set up a shipping station and how you work. That even goes to the point of where do you store your boxes? If I store my boxes in my garage, but I'm shipping in my basement and I have to go up to that garage every single time I want a box and dig through and figure out what size and then walk all the way, that's not going to work for me. Maybe for you, that's okay. So that it's understanding how you work. And I'll show you my kind of setup. So having supplies together and in one place. Now I do put extra boxes. I order them in bulk from USPS and then also order brown boxes. And the ones that come all wrapped up, those are in my garage and I bring down a bundle at a time. So staying organized. If you guys have ways to stay organized, throw it in the chat, please, so we can share with each other and learn from each other. A lack of space. And I want to talk about that was kind of one of my things. And what got me on this, I had never even planned to talk about shipping stations, but when Lysandra and Tony from I Love Discounts were here, and they kind of saw the setup, Lysandra goes, you should show your shipping station. As a person who works full time, and works out of your house and not a warehouse, people may be interested in seeing how you can set up something like in a home setting versus warehouses. A lot of times we'll see sellers that have warehouses or big sheds or something like that, and they'll show you those. But that's not something that all of us have. A lot of us are just in our homes, right? So utilizing whatever space you have in the best, most organized way, establishing a process. So the more times you do something the same way, the easier it gets. Vintage takes me forever to ship. Let's see who's going to get that postcard really quick. I cannot read. Oh, Thread Revive. Took me a second, but I got it. Thread Revive. Congratulations. Thank you for being on the show. You're going to get that postcard. Let me run something else here again. We're catching up on some giveaways here. Start a giveaway. This next one, this is a bird postcard. These are nice and thick. I like these because they're good for framing. the more times you do a process, the faster you get at it. So until recently, I never broke down boxes because I felt like seeing the shape and size was easier when packing. So you break yours down. See, this is interesting. I don't break them down because I agree. Like, I like to see the size and the shape because for me, I'm a very visual person. So to be able to see it like, oh, that will fit, oh, that won't fit. But breaking it down also creates more space. So maybe that works better. And again, I don't think there's any one way. The right way is what works for you. Bought a vintage drying rack at an estate sale to put your bubble wrap on. Perfect. Have a good day previously mentioned. Leave one of each size. That's a good tip. So yeah, you guys, as we're talking, share tips, please. But getting to a process. Vintage, it takes probably 2 hours for every hour of the show. Easy to ship, if not more, depending on what exactly you sold. So doing the things the same way every single time really helps. And having a process, like a layout that supports that. Because of whatnot, I need to stock more boxes. So I started breaking them down. I just watched TV and, so that's perfect. So I like that you write the dimensions. So then you know instantly. You can probably kind of just flip through them and see. I would guess that you're probably writing all the dimensions in the same corner, so it's really quick and easy. I like that. A horizontal, so Wildflower says a horizontal shoe storage rack to store your flat pile of priority boxes. Awesome. I'm going to show you mine. We're going to go back there in just a second. Also think about, though, what are you laughing at, honey? You guys going to like the system because, you're visual too, yes? Ergonomics, not a word we talk a lot about on Whatnot, but also think about the ergonomics. What's going to work best for your back, for your feet, for how tall you are, how short you are. Do you need a chair to sit in while you ship? Are you a person who stands up because you want to move around to grab things? How are you going to be comfortable? If I could spend 6 or 7 hours shipping, I want to be comfortable doing it. Having cushion, those cushion mats that they sell for kitchens, using those to stand on to help with that, absorb the shock. If you need your table to be higher, putting bed risers under your table legs so that your table is at a workable spot so you're not hunched over like this trying to pack. So those are the type of things that I kind of just want to bring awareness to and attention to, making it the most comfortable for you for the long haul. Again, we're talking, part of what we talked about was taking care of our bodies and our health. Let's see, the best thing I did for myself is bite the bullet and order boxes. I was wasting so much time resizing and looking for the best box. So SC 930, I agree. I recycle everything I can, but I also buy. I am not one to go looking for free boxes. Nothing against that. I just don't have time in my schedule to do. It's just not something with everything I do. But I do recycle anything that comes into the house. I try to use for shipping in some way. The only thing is when you're out looking, is just making sure the integrity is good. That's the only kind of trick on that. I no longer have a Tetris wallet boxes in your laundry room. You just bought cushion mats. So see, we're on the same wavelength, cushion mats there. I talked about like just thinking about what makes it comfortable for you. And then what can you do to make it easier in your shipping? Before we go for a little tour, what can you do to make it easier? Laundry, I need to wash clothes. Okay. So do you do thank you notes? Can you pre-write like part of your message? Like, can you pre-write the thank you so much for your purchase? And if you're one who really likes to personalize, so maybe you're watching TV at night and you can write out a bunch of notes. And then when you go to ship, all you have to do is add a name and a little one sentence or two to make it a personal thing. So can you pre-write notes? If you're one of the people who puts little extras in, can you pre-make your packets so that's not taking time while you're standing there doing your shipping? Taping boxes or breaking them down as Living Bliss does, and writing the sizes. What things can you do ahead of time to make that shipping process easier? Hanging rod above my office window to hold all the bubble wrap. Yep. So if you have something, I actually bought a bubble wrap. I don't know what it's called. It's like a rack. So same concepts. I'm not sure if you already covered this, but do you have a system as to cleaning things and marking what you purchased and what you sold it for? Remember I'll talk about that really quick. So for me, my process, giveaway natural state of high, you're going to get that bird. that bird postcard. And I think this is so fitting for you because you are always out in nature. So you get a little bird postcard. So my process, and again, this may not work for everybody. This is what I found works for me. We run our whatnot business from my basement. So stuff comes into the house, it comes down to the basement, usually. Sometimes it sits upstairs in my living room for more days than I want to admit to. I bring it down. I go through it, and as I'm pulling it out, I buy a lot at auction, so usually I'll have my auction invoice, and I use different color dots to indicate what I paid for it. It gets stuck on the bottom. That way I don't have to write the price on there, so then if I forget to take the dot off when I sell it, people don't see a price. To me, it just looks better not sending a price. It's a colored dot. Nobody knows what it means but me and my husband. So I put a dot on what I paid for it, and then it immediately goes on a shelf. I do not clean anything at that time unless it's really, really bad. It immediately goes on a shelf. I have shelves for my different shows. So I have shelves listed out for blue and white shelf, a primitive shelves, and we'll go back and show you in a second. A farmhouse shelf. So if the item will go into one of those future shows, it goes there. When I sign up for a raid train, I will put a little label on a shelf for the raid train. So I start collecting items for the raid train. That way, now my item is tagged with the price and it's put where whatever show it's going to go to. And I can visually see. If I know that in 3 weeks I have a primitive show, I can quickly look and see if I have enough stuff. Okay, so I do that. And then when I go to sell it, when I'm setting up for a show, that's when I wash, take off price tags if necessary, and do all of that. And I do my show. After the show, I have the tag on there. If I'm keeping track of my cost of goods, then I can easily see my cost of goods that went out with that show. So auctions colored tags would be like red is 5, something like that, kind of.
Our shows are not very long. Usually the longest show we have had has been a little over 2 hours. So we usually run between 1 and 1.5.
Yeah, we run short shows. I don't do, it's mainly because of shipping. I'm just going to be honest. I don't do long shows because most of my shows are about an hour to hour and a half. I can't ship it all. Like it's just me shipping. My husband physically can't do the shipping. He may be able to help just a little bit, but he gets tired very fast. So I limit my shows so that I can ship timely. And even with that, if I have a large show, like this past Monday, best Monday show I ever had, very ironically, I choose to postpone Monday shows after the very best Monday I ever had. But I shipped out some packages on day 3 because I ran out of time. I was doing everything I could and I ran out of time. Yeah, it takes a long time to package glass and breakables. So I hope I answered your question on kind of my process. Again, you got to find something that works for you. I need it to be easy for me. Because I know my personality type, if there's too many steps, too complicated, I need to do too many things, I won't do it. I'll think it's great at the beginning. And trust me, I come up with system after system that fail and fail and fail because I'm like, oh, I should do this and this and this. Keep it simple. For me, keep it simple is the only thing that works. And it took a lot of trial and error till I really realized that about myself in the room. And I had been so overwhelmed by the shipping. That kind of happened to me on Monday. And it was wonderful. I am not complaining, but I had a ton of people in my room and they were making requests. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll get that. I'll do that. And then after the show, I'm like, oh, wow, that I sold more than I thought I did. Great problem to have. But yes, I get caught up. Just to say, I get caught up in the vibe too. All right, you guys, we're going to go over. Hold on, let me see this question real quick, and then we'll go see shipping. Why do they penalize us for did I sign a contract? Yeah, we all agreed to ship within 2 days. So at that one, yeah. Okay, let's go. We're going to switch over to another camera. I'm going to walk back now. Let me warn you guys real quick. I can't really see messages, so while I'm showing you, I probably won't be able to I won't see chat very easily. Oh, I don't have it. Well, let's see. Maybe I can take the iPad and see. No, it's not on. I won't be able to see chat, but I'll answer when I come back. But I'm just going to kind of walk through, show you different things, and then we'll come back and chat some more. It is my unfinished part of my basement, so just keep that in mind. Well, this is real life. All right, let's go check it out.
Welcome in to Zoe's Treasures.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hi. Okay, so this is my shipping station. I don't know if I'm in the camera or not because I cannot see myself. I'm going to get to the other side of the camera so you're not seeing me and we're looking at shipping. But I'm just going to give you a quick tour. Again, keep in mind, I'm almost embarrassed that this is like the ugly part of the basement. Okay, so let me get this out of here and sorry about the earthquake that's about to occur. Okay, so as you can see, this is my main shipping table. It's just a basic table, and I use every inch of space that I possibly can to stack and store boxes, supplies. I said before, I like to keep everything accessible. So my husband has set me up with an old tablet that we had. It is not new. It is an old one that we had never used. So I don't have to remember to bring my laptop in every time. This automatically, is here. I can walk right in and do shipping. I keep everything I use right there on the table. Again, if I have to take it out of a box or pull it out of a spot, it's not happening. A little bit of a cleaning thing for a last minute little wipe down, taking a tag off or whatever it may be. I have my labels makers. Now, these were bought at separate times. If you can, that is probably the best investment you can ever buy is a thermal printer. I have purchased 2 over the course of time. And the reason I do that is one is for shipping labels and the other is to make any other kind of label, such as.
Hey guys, it's lagging a little bit. This is a wireless camera that is being fed into the stream, and so apologies for the lagging.
Okay, so you do not need 2 thermal printers. These were purchased over time, but it keeps me from having to change the labels back and forth and back and forth. Miscellaneous supplies I need. Tell you what, this tool right here is probably the best tool I've ever seen. This cuts boxes. I love it. It's a little saw. Love it. Okay. And then think about how you work. I stand at this table. That's my scale. Here's my packing stuff. As you can see, it's old, it's broke, but it works. I have the honeycomb, plastic wrap, and my brown paper. Those holders are actually from Amazon. They're great rollers if you have a way, and it's nothing fancy. I have them just stuck onto our studs in the wall, and it works. It's right here, though. So I go from here, I turn, I grab what I need. Everything happens within a couple of feet. If I turn around slowly, you're going to see the real mess. Try not to get you sick. I never do like handheld cameras. Here. So, hold on. My husband's fixing the lag, hopefully. Okay. These are the boxes. This is how I store it. These holders are actually lumber holders. Got them off of Amazon. They're made to hold pieces of wood. They hold boxes really, really well in a very small space. That is underneath the stairs that lead to my basement. So I bring down a bundle from my garage at a time. I don't know if you can see it, but I have it labeled. So 12 by 14 on the bottom, 12 by 12, 10 by 10, 8 by 8s. I have my priority. Easily I can see, I'm getting low on priority, need to reorder that. So looking for spaces, I think part of this is looking for any space that you have that you can utilize in some way, shape, or form. Not many people utilize under their stairs. All right, then we go to the big mess. This is all recycled material, things that have come in the house, bubble wrap, extra papers to pack things in. So just extra materials. And then if we turn a bit more, we come over to the bubble making machine right here. Now I haven't moved more than 2 feet. Everything I need is almost within arm's reach here. Like I take 2 or 3 steps. To me, that works. It keeps everything efficient. I pre-make a lot of my bubble wrap so that when I'm shipping, I don't have to take the time to make it. If you guys are thinking about a bubble wrap machine, I highly suggest it. Not when you're first starting out, unless you have extra funds to spend. I'm going to give you a quick explanation of these ones. I bought this one at first. I think the Hodgepodge place has one similar to this. I bought this one at first. It's great. It makes, for me, the bigger bubbles, but it's very slow. But it works wonderfully. After I got that one, Again, like my label maker, I'm like, I don't like switching these out. I like it to be fast and accessible. So we got this one, and this guy is super fast. That guy does this bubble type here. It does any kind of bubble type, but I just keep it loaded with that, and it goes really, really, really fast. I will give you a quick example here. Hold on, let me turn it on. It'll take a second, but I'll show you how fast this one goes. And I pre-make my bubble wrap. Then for the bubble wrap to go around glass items, I have a rack here. Bought the rack on Amazon. I can move this so you can see. It's just a metal rack, and it holds my bubble wrap. And then as you can see, I use every available space just to store whatever I have. It's not fancy. It's, it's real life. Let's see if this is ready. This is my favorite one. We'll give you a quick at how fast this guy goes. Now the other one, it works. It just, you got to really plan for it. It takes a lot of time. And it's almost there. There it goes.
Low-key, most of the purchases for those machines were done at the river.
So as you can see, it just kind of starts spitting it out really fast. All right, that's my shipping station. I'm going to go back and we'll answer questions because we did the little tour. Oh, I forgot one section. So if I turn around, behind me, I have all those little supplies that you need. Labels. This is another Amazon purchase here, just a little label holder. But whatever you may need. So the label thing I got from Amazon. It's just a basic pegboard that I hung up. All right. Hopefully you guys kind of saw that. So it's nothing fancy whatsoever. When somebody asked me about inventory, this is our storage. Ignore the mess. Okay, it's lagging. So this is storage. And I just have shelves, as you can see. That is a blue and white shelf. Getting ready for a blue and white show. It isn't, again, I'm going to say it a million times. It isn't fancy, but it's what works for me. All right. Okay, with that, we're going to flip back to the other camera so that I can answer questions and actually see the chat. All right, honey, you want to flip that back for me, please? And let me know.
All right, guys, sorry for the lagging. And she's coming back. She should take a minute.
All right, now you saw my mess. Okay. Any questions? I'm sorry it was a little laggy there, but hopefully you kind of got the you love my mess. Got the idea. What works for me, what I found is I stand in the middle and everything surrounds me. I can grab a box, put it on the table, wrap, pack, take it out.
You already got a signed room. Thank you, Miss Mary.
Thank you. It is an organized mess to me. But I think I wanted to share that really at the prompting of I Love Discounts to show that even though you're in a home and we may not all of us have warehouses and spaces yet, I hope to is someday, like I was talking about earlier, get a whatnot house. Finding the space that works for you.
Heart Centered Soul, yes, that initially was her desk, but then we had a lot of troubles with the motor, and it will tilt one side and not the other, and so we decided to just move it in their space and turn it into part of the shipping area.
Yeah. The graphics, White Oak, that is all my husband. So if you're interested, we say this every show, if you're interested, He does free like one-on-one lessons on graphics. He'll teach you OBS. He doesn't use OBS. He uses a lot of other software, but he has a background. This is kind of what he's done for many, many years. But anybody, not just White Oak, if you're ever interested in learning OBS, feel free to send a message to my husband, and he sets up like a 40-minute Zoom or whatever, and we'll help anybody out. Yep, there you go. He put his in there, put his info in there. So just kind of going back, did I miss a comment? Oh, the shelves where I store the boxes, I got those on Amazon. They are actually lumber holders. So if you look, like search like holders for 2x4s or something. So they're not made for boxes. And that's the other thing, is finding things that will work for you, even if it's not made for that purpose. Earlier, Living Blessed Vintage said she hung a rod above, like where a curtain rod would go, and puts bubble wrap on there. So looking for ways. Oh, thank you, Moody. So looking for ways just to make it work for you. So that the racks for the boxes are just lumber racks. They're sold individually. Curtain rod to hang bubble wrap in the warehouse. So see, a lot of people use a curtain rod.
So Moody, I do the consultations one-on-one, and to me, that's just part of community service. It's just a service to the community. If anybody's interested, I dedicate about an hour, 2 hours, depending on questions. I don't like to charge.
So you don't have to buy the lumber racks. They're sold individually, but you don't have to like put out money for a lumber rack. Curtain rods, utilizing things like thinking just out of the box on what you can do. You can make a sticker holder if you have rolls of sticker with like a curtain rod or a doll rod. You can buy a wooden doll rod and hang it up. So there's lots of ways to make things that work. PVC pipes work great. So all of that. But it's figuring out what works for you and creating a place in an area. What kind of stickers do you make with your second thermal printer? I just make my Zoe's Treasure stickers. Actually, though, I'm in the middle of a Natural State of High. If you're still in here, I owe you my logo. We'll talk about that in just one second. But I do Open Carefully stickers. If I wrap more than one thing in plastic wrap, I'll usually put an Open Carefully sticker on it to signify to the people hey, when you're unwrapping this, you don't want a piece to fall out. I will put, sometimes I make fragile stickers, whatever may come to mind. Sometimes I do coupon stickers on there. So I put one roll in there and then whatever my need is. I find it easier. Again, I'm the type of person now, I didn't start Whatnot and then just go on Amazon and buy everything. That's an evolution. And I'll tell you what, if I do a tour in 6 months from now, there'll probably be changes to it in 6 months. So it's an evolution as I grow and I say, oh, this doesn't work. I had one tape dispenser, like a packing tape dispenser and one masking tape. And I realized, you know what? I want one on this table and I want one on this table because that's where I use it. And I didn't want to walk back and forth. So it's, as you're doing things, you're like, oh, it'd be really easier to have this extra thing. So you start to grow and evolve with it. And that's how mine came about. Pardon? Oh, Zodi's in her show. So we'll probably go rate her in just a little bit. But speaking of stickers, I currently make, if you get a package from me, there is a Zoe's Treasure sticker on the outside of every single package. If there isn't one, it's because I ran out and didn't have time to make more, but usually I do. But I am in the middle of buying some, trying to place a large order with Natural State of High. If you have not visited Natural State of High, which is Zodi, go see her. She is the sticker queen. I would probably say, I am sure if you have ordered from Whatnot, have probably got a box with one of her stickers stuck on the outside of that box. So just a little plug for her because she is amazing. Her stickers are wonderful. Do you make your own Open Carefully stickers? I do. I just Open Carefully, stick them right through my thermal printer. No, they're not fancy. They're literally just the words, Open Carefully. Would it be okay to message you directly about you? Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Send a message. Do you have tubes of bubble wrap? I do. So I buy mine at Sam's Club. I find Sam's Club to be the best price for me. I've checked Amazon, Bubble Boy, And just after I look at everything and I compare the square footage of bubble wrap that you receive, I find Sam's to be the best price. I also have a Sam's Club that's convenient for me to go to. I shop there personally, so it's easy for me just to buy it at the same time I buy my groceries. It's $15 a roll for seven. How much? How many square feet? I forget. I've looked at square foot. For me, to me it seems like the best price. I want to say 750. No, maybe it's two some. I don't know. But yeah, so I buy that at Sam's. I do my boxes from the Boxery. Occasionally I'll go through Amazon, but I buy the Boxery boxes through Amazon sometimes. The Boxery has their prices per box, to me, are the absolute best price that there is. However, you do pay shipping, but even with the shipping, and I've compared when I broke it down to the per box price, works. Yep, and sometimes it's on sale and you can stock up. The only thing with Sam's bubble wrap, when they put it on sale, they limit it to 4, so you might have to make multiple trips or bring your spouse or your friend to go through the line too. I have one of the rolling shelves from Sam's that's stainless steel and holds hundreds of pounds of weight. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, and you can put anything on there, boxes, inventory. I also, so when I sell stuff, so you're seeing me in my studio. I call it a studio. When I Love Discounts got here, I'm like, oh man, the whole illusion has been busted now. When you see this in person, it is just a portion of my basement that I have put a curtain up, and just converted a small portion of my basement for my whatnot area. And then I walk around the corner into the unfinished area of the basement, and that's where we just were for shipping. But to get there, in order, when I'm doing a show, and think about it, if you're going to bring out 40 or 50 pieces, I don't want to walk back and forth 30 times carrying 2 or 3 pieces of glass. So I actually have a rolling cart that I use. Even though I only go 20 feet, I take my rolling cart over there, I load it up in my storage area, and I roll it over here. I move a lot more in a lot shorter amount of time that way. So kind of thinking about all of those things. How do you move your inventory? I used to do my shows upstairs on our main floor of our house, but after a while, I'm like, all my stuff is downstairs in the basement. I got to bring it upstairs, bring it back down to pack it, bring it back up after it's packed. That doesn't make sense. So kind of thinking through the whole thing. Curtains equals studio. That's it. That's what we have. We have, I don't know if we can do a quick studio tour. Do you have it set up to do a studio tour? Okay, why don't you set it up? We'll do a studio tour. Yes, I need a place for all of my husband's wires. I'll show you our studio. I call it the studio. As soon as he gets the camera set up, we'll do a quick 360 and you can see. It's not big at all. You can have a normal size home and have your whatnot area. You just got to get creative with it. You don't have to have a whole bedroom. You don't have to have a whole garage. Just carve out a space and make that space work for you. All right, you guys, we're going to do the studio tour, and then we're probably going to end a bit early today because we are heading down to Virginia for the reseller meetup. I'm so excited. Go down and see who we can meet today. But are you ready? We're getting there. We're going to do a little studio tour. You got a cart from Joann's. I hope you got it when they were going out of business and we're able to get it really cheap. We're Frederick, Virginia. So while he's doing that, well, no, we'll just wait. Fredericksburg or Frederick, one of those. I keep saying Frederick. It's just Frederick.
Yeah, it's not Virginia. It's Maryland.
Oh, it's Maryland. Sorry. It's not Virginia. I'm wrong. It's Maryland. Can I plug the seller on here who has thermal printers? Oh, there's a seller that sells thermal printers? Go right ahead. I don't have a problem with that. All right. Are you ready? We'll do a studio tour. Which camera are we using?
This one.
Okay.
Let's see if it's not lagging too much.
We'll see if it's not lagging. Since I've already busted the illusion for I Love Discounts, we'll bust it for you guys too. It is a little dark because we're showing off our glowy. I have a glowy show tomorrow. In case you guys, $1 starts, free shipping, if you're interested. But let me grab this camera and I'll kind of walk you around this studio. Can I grab the camera?
Yeah.
All right. Is it looking at me? Sorry.
We haven't switched it yet.
Okay. We haven't switched it yet?
No, it's still lagging.
Okay. Let's switch it. You ready?
Hold on. It's lagging. Give it a second.
We're getting there.
Sorry, guys, the camera's a little laggy.
Is it going? No.
It's I'll have to give you the correct. Yeah, it's on. All right, I'm gonna switch it.
Okay.
You are showing your hand. There it goes. All
There
right,
we go. All right.
just slow. Do it slow, cause it's.
Okay, so this is our studio. That's where I sit. You can see my backdrop. Nothing fancy, just some furniture there. Let me scoot back a little bit. Tell you what, honey, why don't you switch to the other camera? I'm just going to pick up that tripod because this one is too laggy for me.
No, cause it's wired.
Okay, well, I can't use this one. All right, let's just switch back to the other camera. I do not like how laggy this is.
All right.
That's not working good. Okay, so can we use that camera?
No, it's
All right.
it's wired. You
All right,
can't move
we
it.
can't use that camera. So sorry, we'll figure out a way to show you the studio. But basically, I just have a table. I have 2 cabinets behind me, and about 5 feet in front of me, I have a TV and a camera.
Yes, that's gonna be for tomorrow's show. So if you wanna join us tomorrow, we'll have the all glowy show, and yes, it's at $1 starts and free shipping.
We have hens on the nest. Everything glows. We actually have a light box where we can show you. Looks kind of like a dining room, and literally it is a piece of my basement. So I'm here. About 5 feet in front of me is a TV and a camera. My husband sits right behind that, and right behind him is a curtain. If I move the curtain, you will walk onto my treadmill. Can I run the black light again?
So
Doing
she
this,
has a flashlight just to add a little bit more light to an individual item. And so that way you can see a little bit better when the light is concentrated in one item.
Look at that guy. That guy's pretty cool there.
Oh, you mean auction the black light? You can find it on the river.
Good
It's
morning,
not that
Leslie.
expensive. I think it was like somewhere around $30.
Good morning, Reworkers Fashion. Like behind the curtain, yes.
Oh, Miss Leslie, good morning. I think I owe you a cameo, huh? Even though I did try on the red train and someone said, "Who's that bald guy behind you?"
Are you going to come on and say hello?
1 second.
Y'all, today, because we're going to the meetup, it was really just talking about setting up shipping. Not necessarily shipping like in whatnot, but like setting up your shipping station. So if you're just joining us, we just talked about a couple of things today. I'm going to recap quickly till my husband comes on, and then we're probably going to go raid Natural State of High since I talked about her earlier. So we started with work-life balance and just finding that balance for you. If you're not taking care of your health, physical, mental, and also your family too. I mean, you need to be okay. You can't just work 100 hours a week, because the minute you go down, eventually your body's going to say no more. It will happen. It may take years. It could take weeks. I mean, we're all different, right? Find that line. Find where you draw the line, and you say, this is my limit. Whether that be I'm off on every Sunday, or Tuesdays I am not doing anything on whatnot, or setting specific office hours. It is hard for us, especially those of us who have a whatnot where we work out of our homes, because it's here all the time. So many of us do whatnot on our phones. How many of you don't carry your phone with you, right? So to find that balance. We'll see you soon. So we talked about the work-life balance. That led into a discussion that Zoe's Treasures is pulling back a little bit. We talked about my husband is fighting cancer right now, stage 4. He is going in for a transplant in 12 days. He will be in the hospital for about 7 weeks, and then we'll need around-the-clock care for the first 3 months after that. So due to that, and also due to my own looking after my own health and my own capabilities, we are pulling back a bit. Our Monday shows, we will not have our 7 a.m. Monday random shows anymore. We will continue to have 4 p.m. every Saturday. I'm going to try to make those a little bit bigger so I can, still keep up my sales. 4 p.m. on Saturday. We will do, I am adding just another chat show Tuesday evenings at 8:40, and that's going to be focused on tax and accounting questions. And we'll keep this show at 7 a.m. on Friday mornings to talk about everything else in the world. Well, really not everything else in the world. We don't do politics or religion here.
All right, Miss Leslie, I owe you a cameo.
Nope, can't see you.
Oh, shoot. Hold on one second.
He's over there waving to nobody. He's just waving away.
I should be there.
Nope. You're gonna remain a
I
mystery.
see why. There it is. Good morning. All right, back to her.
All right, we're gonna do our last giveaway of the day, and then we're going to
Hello,
to
good morning.
go and raid. This is the last giveaway up and going. It is another Halloween postcard. That's going now. Before we go, we have about 5 minutes left while this runs. Is there any questions, anything on your mind? He's fired. That's right, he's fired.
It never fails, Miss Michelle. It never fails.
Oh, thank you so
good
much.
morning, ladies. Good morning, Evan.
I do apologize that I didn't have very, business-focused discussions today. It was really just, let's talk about shipping setup, your stations, not the actual settings and whatnot, the setups and finding our work-life balance. We did do a trick, in case you missed it at the beginning, how to multiply by nines and how to calculate percentages. Yeah, absolutely, Moody. So real quick recap. If you do not know how to do by nines, this is a fun trick you can teach your kids. You can multiply by nines using your fingers. Hey, the best way to count, right? This goes back to the beginning. So anything multiplied by 9, let's do 4 times 9. I'm going to do it backwards because you guys will be backwards in the camera. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. You put the fourth finger down. The answer is 36. If I do 5 by 9, I put the fifth finger down. The answer is 45. So that's multiplying by 9s, nice and easy. Percentages. If you want to, because we found out last week that a lot of people don't like to do the math on percentages. They like dollar off coupons because it's easy to say, oh, $3, $5, whatever. People don't like percent off coupons because they don't want to have to do the math in their head. Here's a quick and easy way. For example, 30% of 40, you take the 3 times the 4 is 12. 12% is, 12 is 30% of 40. 20% of 180, 2 times 18, 36. So take the numbers in the 10 spots, multiply them together. That's a quick and easy way to do percentages. And with that, y'all, just thank you so much. I want you to have a great weekend. I will not be here Monday. I'll be back Tuesday night for tax talks, tax and accounting. So come with all of your tax questions or just come to here. We are going to pull this giveaway and then we're going to go raid probably Natural State of High if she is on.
Well, this camera is not lagging as much, so I'll give you a really quick rendition of the studio. Here we go.
Oh, he found one that works.
All right. So that's her right there. That's the table, cameras, lights. And then on this side, you can see more lights, the light box right over there. And then we're coming into the back area to where... Oh, you're going to grab the camera?
I'll grab the camera and show him from here.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Let's see. I'll try to go slow.
Yeah, go slow.
All right. So that is where I take pictures, and that's our little black box over there. It is not a big area. It is a very small area. That is where I sit. We just have lights. This is it. Turn around, there's the bathroom. I like to go in there and check if glow because there's no lights. I Love Discounts like to joke that we've been in the bathroom together. We don't use that. That's my personal space. I turn around. We are in the basement. And there is my curtain. So very, very small whatnot space. That's where my husband works. This is where he does all of his magic. Let me come over here and show you his little setup. Oh, that light is bright. So this is what it looks like from his point of view. It's all of his fancy equipment there. And then when he is sitting there, he sits here and watches me and gives me all of his funky hand motions and kind of controls everything here. And like I said, it's a basement. If I move this curtain, honey, if you don't want to be seen in your pajamas, go the other way. All right. It goes straight into my gym. So we don't have a big fancy setup. It is a very small studio. And sorry if I just burst your bubble that this was something totally amazing. It is a very small area. So with that, honey, you are making people crazy dizzy. That's like going all over the place. They are probably holding their stomachs at this moment. All right. We're going to go ahead and pull that. Actually, it has 15. Yeah, we'll do it now. We're going to draw the winner on a Halloween postcard. Let's see who it is. Shop JB's Closet. Thank you so much for coming into the show today. And with that, we are going to go raid somebody. You guys have a great weekend. We will see you Tuesday night. No, actually, tomorrow. I'm going to be on tomorrow. Glowy stuff. $1 starts. Free shipping. Comes to me, 4 p.m. All right, let's go raid. And there she is. We're going to go see Jody since we talked about...
What are you doing?
Jody. Zodi. I always say Jody. Zodi, since I talked about her great stickers.
Nothing?
This is Friday for the win.